gentlemen, please welcome Frankie, Boyle.
Hello and welcome to New World Order, coming to you from Glasgow. In Austria, they reintroduced lockdown, but get this, only for the unvaccinated. Many Austrians have compared it to Nazi Germany, but others didn't like it. There's been an increase in conspiracy theories. There's people saying globalists are using 5G to spread mind control. I think that's unlikely. Bear in mind that Virgin Media struggled to use 4G to spread 4G. A guy blew himself up in a taxi in Liverpool. The driver, Dave Perry, showed incredible bravery by agreeing to become a taxi driver in Liverpool. That probably wasn't in his worst 10 fares. The Tory party's second job scandal rumbles on. The Scottish Tory leader, Douglas Ross, actually has 3 jobs, one of which is being a referee. Seems strange. It's not that he doesn't get called a cunt enough in his day job. Jacob Rees-Mogg failed to declare £6 million in loans from his own company. Jacob Rees-Mogg is one of those Tories that doesn't know the price of milk because he still gets it straight from his nanny's nipples. The Queen couldn't attend the Remembrance Sunday service. Prince Andrew was going to stand in for her, but unfortunately the dates of World War I, 14 to 18, gave him an erection. And for legal reasons, he's not allowed to remember anything that happened before 2009. Okay, let's get on with the show. Joining me tonight to discuss the week's big topics are Miles Jupp, Sophie Duker and Ahir Shah. Good to see you. Good week.
Good to see you. Yes, I had a great week. An amazing week. I went on holiday to New York.
Ooh.
I know, so good they locked down twice. And when I was at the airport, I feel like the novel Coronavirus, the best-selling novel Coronavirus, has really eroded American hospitality. Because, like, when I was at JFK, the woman was like, "Ma'am, what is your business in the US?" And normally they're like, "Oh, a black girl with a British accent. You're Meghan Markle." And I was like, "Oh, I'm visiting a friend." And she was like, "Oh, really? Who's your friend?" It's like, not
Sophie,
you.
to be fair, they think I'm Meghan Markle too. You need to stop having such beautiful hair. Never! What have you been up to, Miles?
Just a series of humiliations, really. Coming back from the show last week on the train. As you know, I live in a very busy household and there's a lot of competition for facilities. And so I got the train very early in the morning, so I was slightly on autopilot, and I got up from my carriage and I went to use the loo, did my business, came back, walked back into the carriage and went, "Bathroom free."
Do you think it would have been worse if instead you'd said, "Daddy's out of the bathroom"?
What would have been worse is if I finished and shouted, "I'm finished," and a complete stranger came in and wiped my arse.
First up, thank God we're entering the final 50 years of Boris Johnson's government. Boris Johnson looks like a chewed toffee that had to be cut out of the hair of an Afghan hound. He turned up at Remembrance Day last weekend, ironically looking like he couldn't remember how to dress himself. It was a day of remembrance, and what we remembered was that we're being governed by a burst sack of rice wearing a Princess Diana Halloween wig. Corruption scandals must seem strange to Tory politicians. It's not like they really bother to hide what they're like. It's like seeing a transformer that's disguised itself as a massive fucking robot. We now have a cabinet of broad, cartoonish grotesques. Michael Gove has the expression of a man who wrapped an elastic band around the base of his penis 20 years ago and never took it off. Joining us to discuss the government, please welcome comedian Munya Chihuahua. thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.
Are you a fan of this government?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got to remember, I grew up in Zimbabwe under Robert Mugabe, so this is just like a trip down memory lane. All this corruption.
And there's been a lot in the news recently about all this corruption stuff. What do you make of that?
It feels like every time they do it, we sort of just go, oh, what are they like? Do you know what I mean? It's like being at a kid's party and there's that one kid that shits on the birthday cake and they're like, God, Sydney, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like, just this unending cycle of pain that we keep volunteering ourselves into.
Yeah, there is a certain kind of deja vu quality to it, Miles. This has been going on for decades now.
Yes, dear oh dear, just the little things that keep ticking by, and if it happens just in increments, you don't notice the sort of the boiling the frog thing. You think, well, it's dead now, isn't it?
I think I don't share your guys' overarching pessimism. I do think that even for someone like Johnson, there's only so long that you can juggle swords before you find yourself going, look, no hands. And
No, I suppose the thing about Johnson is there always seems to be enough support in the right places, and you'll get to a point where, you know, we've run out of food and basically we'll all just be bludgeoning our neighbours to death with the thighs of the most recently fallen, and people were going, oh, is this the end of the honeymoon period for Johnson?
Chernobyl Womble, Boris Johnson, has the perpetually pleased with himself air of a sheepdog who's just been taught the concept of neo-fascism. His latest trick, which he showed off around COP26, is that he's learned to bark out a few environmentally friendly soundbites. Here he is displaying his climate credentials at a lacklustre Downing Street press conference with some unimpressed youngsters.
Are you in favour, Tanya, of rewilding parts of the UK where possible?
I think we need to bring nature back. I know that some of the young people in this room will know the statistic that our planet, 97% of the mass of mammals on this planet is humans, and our animals, our domestic animals. Just 3% is left for the wild. So how
sad.
Do we start to rebalance it? And I think we certainly could start by rewilding our oceans. There's a lot of space
could feed
to
some
do
of
that.
the human beings to the animals. That would, couldn't we? That would be.
We could have a vote later and ask if there's any candidates, but certainly we need to take our responsibilities seriously.
We do.
I don't know what's more impressive about that clip, the fact that that lady is just so patient with him, or the fact that they managed to get all of Boris's kids in one room. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, there was one on Zoom, wasn't there? He's probably still in a legal dispute with her mother.
I feel like all those people in that room, though, I think Boris feels like they won't let him be great, but I think he lives in a sort of, like, classical world where he's a Roman emperor. Like, when he said that thing about feeding people to the animals, he's just trying to make a joke, but I think, like, if someone said yes, he'd be like, absolutely, and just do it.
That is his opening remark, though, in every press conference.
He just is always like, feed.
Well, we could feed people to animals.
despite having wanted to be Prime Minister since he was a little boy, he never looks like he's enjoying it. Because it's clearly much, much more difficult than he expected it to be. He wanted to be called Prime Minister, not be Prime Minister. In the same way, like, I reckon I want to be a dad, but if I'm properly honest, I really just want to be an uncle.
There's a weird thing with the whole corruption thing, isn't it? Where they're so boringly corrupt. Like, they're always like, oh, he's a director of something that avoids tax, or he's a lawyer or something. It's never like, oh, have you heard? Liz Truss is Banksy. In the future that the Tory party is moving you towards, you'll either have to pay a monthly rental on your own skeleton, or wake up poisoned and give out mediocre handjobs for antidote pills. When David Lynch was casting the Tory cabinet, he found the perfect chancellor, Rishi Sunak, who looks like a Toby jug full of baby oil. He's a rising star in the Johnson Freak Show. Here's the fun-sized fuckstain, joking clumsily with two schoolboy journalists in an awkward classroom interview.
Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Do you ask everyone this question? Or not? No, I'm only funny because I'm a massive, so one of these things that not that many people know about me. So I collect Coca-Cola things. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm a Coke addict. Total Coke addict. Yeah. Coca-Cola addict. Yeah, so just for the record, just being totally clear. I am a Coca-Cola addict. I have 7 fillings to show for it. So now, Yeah. So yes, exactly. I'm getting in trouble, but no. So I generally do have 7 fillings because I got through a lot of the stuff when I was young, which is very bad. So people should not don't do that. Only one a week, so you don't end up with 7 fillings.
He sort of looked like a schoolboy himself, except he's too small.
I don't see why everyone's like, Rishi's a rock star. Like, there's an amazing moment at the start of this clip where, like, the 2 boys suddenly realise that they are the alphas. It's like, oh, boy.
But he's kind of bragging. I've actually got 7 fillings, guys. 7 fillings. Tell you what, boys, why don't I get down on the floor, open my mouth wide, and you can count them. I mean, just...
I have never seen a grown man so desperate to make friends with 2 sixth formers. Like, the way he kept saying, I've got 7 fillings, it was like a geekier Tory version of 50 Cent saying, I've been shot 9 times. Do you know what I mean? Also, out of all the Tory MPs who may or may not do coke, I'd say that Rishi Sunak looks genetically modified to do coke. Like, he's 5'7" tall, so you can't see him over the cubicle. He's got satellite ears, so you can hear footsteps approaching from miles away. And his nose is basically an industrial vacuum. So why are we surprised that he's doing coke?
The Right Honourable Jacob Rees-Mogg, the man with all the authenticity of a character at a murder mystery weekend, who's so wealthy that if he didn't keep his cash offshore, Britain would risk sinking under its weight. Yet he likes to portray himself as one of the people, which is odd for someone who doesn't even vaguely resemble one. Here's a bizarre and stilted interview on GB News held in Nigel Farage's eerie virtual pub.
Now, normally, we provide drinks. Whatever drinks the guest wants, and we provide them. But you have brought the drinks in for us. Just tell us what we've got here, please.
Well, we've got the cider that I make at home. So these are Rees-Mogg apples that my children throw into this fantastic musher that puts out the juice and obviously then all the remains of the apples, and then it sits in a barn for a year and comes out as cider. And we make about 30 gallons of it a year, which I have to give away because I only drink about a pint of it a week. So I don't
what sort of strength is it, Jacob?
I have no idea.
Let's give it a go. Oh, wow, that's real. That's real. Yeah.
I mean, it was so clearly piss. And Farage has had so much of it thrown at him over the years that he recognises the taste.
I actually think that Jacob Rees-Mogg is a little bit of a bad boy. Like, I really do. Like, what we've seen of him recently, like, he's slouching, and, like, Farage was like, oh, normally we make people drink what we give them, but you've brought your own drinks. And then, like, when he asks how strong it is, he's like, I don't know. Drink it. Like, I think he's like the James Dean of the Conservative Party.
In the sense that after a sip of that cider, you absolutely mustn't drive.
How strong, then, is this completely unregulated scrumpy that's being made by... Rees-Mogg says, I have a pint of it a week, and he's very firm about that. He's obviously learned that is the maximum amount. I have 1 pint a week, and I always lose at least 3 days. And I wake up, and the local constable is explaining to me that I've strangled another farmhand. And...
Could you think of worse people to get drunk with? Like, 2 pints in, they're going, well, if rappers can say it.
I like the fact that GB News feel that if they're going to give Nigel Farage a show, it has to have a sort of pub feel to it, as if he's a man that doesn't really make sort of sense unless they put him in a sort of an alcohol setting. I imagine even his farts probably smell like wet ashtrays.
Personally, I think cabinet ministers who are involved in COVID contracts should only be allowed to use the PPE that their mates supplied. You'd see Gove visiting a hospital with his face protected with a pair of edible panties. Matt Hancock spent the pandemic sourcing PPE that wouldn't have been fit to sell to tourists when it rains in Disneyland. He resigned as health secretary in June, but hopes to return as a minister once Boris Johnson gets round to creating the Department of Horned-Up Morons. In the meantime, he's been out and about in his West Suffolk constituency, as we see in this haunting promotional video, which he posted on his social media.
Good to see you. It's really good to see you.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've got through it, haven't we? you know, and now coming out the other side. There we go, fist bump. How are you doing?
Big fan.
Oh, that's kind of you to say.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. You
Yeah?
deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. 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 Keep positive.
I'm all right. Nice to be out and about.
Yeah.
You take it for granted.
That was literally the only footage they could get that didn't have someone driving by in the background going, Shagger!
There's some sweetness to that as well, though, because you think, is that a publicity stunt, or is that genuinely how he is now forced to spend his time, effectively? He just sort of wanders around looking to be sort of affirmed in some ways. So that is a normal day for me. I get up as early as I can, and that way there's a good chance of being able to fist bump the milkman, and then go down the street, and I get to say hello to the lady who drives the gritter, and then I go and stand next to a poo bin in the park, and I wait for joggers to go past, and I go, keep going, you can do it. And then I go home and have breakfast on my own.
Who announces a fist bump as well? Like, he'd be the world's worst gang member. He'd be like, oh, just gonna drive by now, okay? Revenge killing, narcotics deal. Awful.
He gave more forewarning about that fist bump than we got about several national lockdowns.
And also, I want the rest of that footage, man. Can WikiLeaks get this? Because we just hear his half the stuff. I want the other bit. There's people going, I told you, mate, it's £1.60 for a baked potato.
Despondently being told that toilets are for customers only.
Well, I think we've come to some fairly firm conclusions about this government and settled a few issues. Thanks to Munya! Thank you.